Let us start. And, you're saying take 90 now. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, text 14, chapter 14. The middle well is a great forest of enjoyment. Text 90. Okay. क्वचिच्च दुस्सहेन कायाभयंतर वहनेन गृहीतसार सकुटुम्बया कृत्यते. Sometimes, due to bodily hunger and thirst, the conditioned soul becomes so disturbed that he loses his patience and becomes angry with his own beloved sons, daughters, and wife. Thus, being unkind to them, he suffers all the more. Srila Vidyapati Thakur has sung, Tatalasai bari bindu sama sutamitara samaje. The happiness of family life is compared to a drop of water in the desert. No one can be happy in family life. According to the Vedic civilization, one cannot give up the responsibilities of family life. But today, everyone is giving up family life by divorce. This is due to the miserable condition experienced in the family. Sometimes, due to misery, one becomes very hardened towards his affectionate sons and daughters and wife. This is but part of the blazing fire of the forest of material existence. People enter into family life with the wrong motivation, and that is the reason the family life results in more intense experience of a more intense burning flame, even as compared to when one was individual. More intense burning flame, because the notion of family life is not centered around Krishna; it's centered around sense gratification. The lust, greed, anger, the characteristic nature of all of them is the more one feeds them, the more they become inflamed. They're all like fire. So at any stage, whatever level the lust is at, the more one tries to feed it, the more it becomes uh, the more it becomes intense, and so one gets engulfed in these flames. So materialistic family life is like that. A person becomes more and more person becomes more and more tortured like that. So in family life, materialistic concept of family life, it is not centered on Krishna, centered on sense gratification. One is in a more intense flame than one was when one was alone. That is materialistic family life. Very, very painful. Now the burning is more because the burning is more. What is the fuel for this burning? The fuel for this burning is material desires. That is the point. Why family life is burning? Material desires. So one person, material desires less. Two people come together, material desires more. Burning is more. Four people, burning is more. Like that. More material desire. The fuel for this fire is material desire. Material desires take the form of expectations, which are never fulfilled. And because of these expectations are never fulfilled, a person suffers. So in family life, it doesn't matter how a person acts, one will still be burning. Doesn't matter how a person acts. So suppose in family life, one fellow is humble. So and just serving all others in the family. Because this fellow is humble, so he or she is just serving all others in the family. So he or she is just serving all others in the family. What happens? Everybody very happily keeps on exploiting this fellow, and I like that. And one gets so much drain and pain, you know? And so some people are not able to express themselves, but they get so much drained out. Some people they are too much exploited by family members only. They develop psychological disorders. They develop psychological disorders. So person, so how should one behave in family life? Humble. Or if one is humble, one will be happily. Everyone will exploit. Everyone else is happy. The person very miserable. Because his or her needs are not satisfied. Everybody else is getting satisfied. And like that. So if one is humble, it will be painful. Now, so can one be exploitative? Even if one is exploitative, then also painful. Why? Because one is exploited on others, then sooner or later they'll box back, and that box is very powerful enough to crush everything off. So the Avadut Brahmana was a very strict, exploitative kind of head of the family. So when it comes to a session, so every day is not Sunday. You know, so he was a very rich merchant, a lot of money, and but very miser, very exploitative to his family. So he would control. But now in his own life, the situation turned. His money collapsed. His business collapsed. And now that was the time of now the hour when he very much needed his family members for support. Hmm? At that time, they kicked him off. So mistreatment results in uh, uh, mistreatment results, and I will come back to us with interest. So therefore, don't you never think of mistreating any living because any kind of mistreatment will come back to us to a much more extent, to a much greater extent. Any kind of mistreatment will come back to us very painful, very miserable. So therefore, mistreatment. So this Avadut Brahmana thrown out of home. At that time, his eyes opened up, and he became. His eyes opened up. He realized his folly, and to rectify his folly, he started taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. When he took shelter of the Supreme Lord, he found so much solace, so much strength, and so much warmth. And therefore, he became a great devotee, Avadut Brahman. So the point is, now what to do in family life then? Mistreatment will come back in a bad way, with an increased intensity. Uh, Humble treatment also is simply drained. So what to do? Materialistic family life, no matter what one does, one's pain, one's misery, one's agony increases, no matter what one does. whichever algorithm, humble algorithm, cunning algorithm, and a straightforward algorithm, and an exploitative algorithm, every algorithm will result in the burning of the fire. And therefore, we have to understand there is no such concept of a family, no, of happiness in a family without Krishna. You have to understand the real family only exists when Krishna is in the center and everyone involved wants to sincerely serve Krishna. Then only this, uh, then only the happiness can exist. Otherwise, it's simply the burning fire. So this person, uh, so we will see materialistic family. Bhagavatam is speaking here. One small wrong move, the repercussions will come for a long time. One small wrong move, the repercussions will come for a long time. So this person is not getting food, he's hungry, he shouts a little bit, but he'll have to pay a price for a long time. Any such activity. Why? Because it's a materialistic family life. Materialistic family life always paid and great. That is the point. Let's read further. Saiva punarnitra jagaragara अन्येतनस्मरणं इव सेविनान्य किञ्चन वेदसनम् इव पाविध Sukadeva Goswami continues speaking to Maharaj. My dear king, sleep is exactly like a python. Those who wander in the forest of material life are always devoured by the python of sleep. Being bitten by this python, they always remain in the darkness of ignorance. They are like dead bodies thrown in a distant forest. Thus, the conditioned souls cannot understand what is going on in a dead body thrown in a distant forest. They cannot understand what is going on. But material life means being fully absorbed in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Out of these, sleep is taken very seriously. While asleep, one completely forgets object of life and what to do. For spiritual realization, one should try to avoid sleep as much as possible. The Goswamis of Vrindavan practically did not sleep at all. Of course, they slept some, for the body requires sleep. But they slept only about 2 hours, sometimes not even that. They always engaged in spiritual cultivation. Following in the footsteps of the Goswamis, we should try to engage sleeping, eating, meeting, and their sleep is compared to a python, which can completely devour living, living. Entity. Maharaj Jadbharat is explaining, and such people, with the aim of eating, sleeping, marrying, defending, as the only goal of their lives, they are like dead bodies thrown, just like dead bodies. Srila Prabhupada explains here that one should try to minimize sleep as much as possible. This is possible only when a sadhaka devotee keeps the spiritual goal in front of oneself. Sadhaka, the devotee keeps the spiritual goal in front of oneself and pushes oneself, strains, there is stretch, there is strain which is involved. And then only one can save oneself from sleep. Otherwise, sleep is a de facto engagement of people in this world. How is it possible that people, when they are on a materialistic drive, they are able to work 12 hours, 14 hours non-stop? Sometimes people forget to eat. They don't eat. They forget. They're so much absorbed and obsessed. But when it comes to a spiritual drive, such kind of fervor is not seen commonly. Such kind of fervor is not seen commonly. Just imagine going for a book distribution for 12 hours, 14 hours. How many of us would be able to succeed? How many of us will be able to do it? 2, 3 hours happens and we feel, oh, sufficient. And that's sufficient service. Let me go back and relax. Like that. Sufficient. Let me go back and relax. One day we do some seva, think let me go back. One day, 2 day camp happens after that. Everyone feels let me sleep for 4 days. Uh, Rejuvenate myself. Uh, because, yeah, there is a very great puzzle in KDP which I have not been able to solve. Previously, in 2010, when I came, we used to have Sankalpa camp, and this camp would last till 9 o'clock in the night. And it would end with dinner. And I would see devotees at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, all everybody doing parade with their fun. So I thought, oh, no, I should do something, take care of the devotees also. Then we started ending our camps at 5 p.m. Post lunch at 5 p.m. Okay. So time for Mala. Uh, Time for Mala. We started ending our camps at 5 p.m. Still, I saw devotees at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night roaming around with their mothers. So I could not understand this. Logic algorithms don't work, So you see. Then we thought, okay, fine, we give a little more time. Why to tax devotees so much? So we started ending our camps with lunch, 2 o'clock. Then also I see devotees at 12 o'clock in the night with their mother. No? And this problem I have not been able to solve. No? So you see the point. No? You see the point. The point is, what is the solution? The solution Maharaj Gadbarath is giving you, the python, the sleep, the laziness. There is no other reason. It is independent of the camp. So because there is endurance in the camp, because whatever level of the camp is there, the mala is still going to develop. That means it is not dependent on the camp. It's an outcome of sleep, laziness. So therefore, actually, uh, as a sadhaka, we have to be very, very careful to push ourselves forward. That yes, we should be very enthusiastic to push ourselves forward. Otherwise, by default, one will land into sleep. Sleep includes laziness. Sleep includes laziness. And that is why one has to take spiritual targets for oneself, not to show off others, and stick to those targets. That's why we have to stick to sadhana. Every day, we should struggle for 20. Every day. Get a shot at least 20. Huh? Not that, uh, why? Because otherwise, laziness, just laziness. That's our targets. You know, every day, target for service. Every day, target. And one should struggle and chase after it. Otherwise, we will be devoured by this python. So this sleep also signifies the absorption is sense gratification. The nature of sense gratification. It creates kind of person gets vivish. So that vivishment, that vivid state is also characteristic of sleep. The person is intoxicated and vivish. This is lost. Is lost. So one has to be very careful not to allow ourselves to be devoured. Like with mobile addiction, internet addiction. These are all typical characteristics of sleep. One gets very lost. Long time this happened. Sleep. कदाचित् भग्नमान दंस्क्रो दुर्जन दंड सुखे अलब्धा निद्राशनो व्यतीत हृदयान् हृदयेनानुष्यमाणः विज्ञानो अन्धकूपे अन्धवत् पतति. In the forest of the material world, the conditioned soul is sometimes bitten by envious enemies, which are compared to serpents and other creatures. Through the tricks of the enemy, the conditioned soul falls from his prestigious position. Being anxious, he cannot even sleep properly. He thus becomes more and more unhappy, and he gradually loses his intelligence and consciousness. In that state, he becomes almost perpetually like a blind man who has fallen in a dark well. And if the enemies are compared to as serpents, driven by these serpents, one loses one's prestigious possession. Materialistic engagements are often accompanied by disturbance. The disturbance acts on both levels, internally and externally. Internally, disturbance is because of increase of the flame of the anakas, the lust, pride, and the greed. Because of that, there is a lot of disturbance. And externally, the disturbance is there because of, we call it as adibodhic place. Yeah. Other people don't allow us to be peaceful, like bullying, backbiting, politics, so criticism, sarcasm, so on. So that is compared to the serpents. So anybody, snake bite is always. So if one is not successful, then also everybody will give taunts and criticisms and the snake bite. If one is successful, then also people will give sarcasms. What to do? The snake bite. One cannot even sleep properly because of these snake bites. So we see that any material assets a person has, nobody allows such a person to remain peaceful. So therefore we will see materialistic engagement and materialistic working. One is also externally disturbed a lot. Why? Because everybody is like bullying, backbiting, criticizing, you know, exploiting, cunning. So, so therefore, in general, person very much disturbed always. Always very much disturbed. This is a snake effect. So this goes to show actually material world, everything is poisonous. One may think, okay, I have done got this achievement, sense gratification. Now I can enjoy it. But people will put poison in that. You will not be able to enjoy. That is enemies. Somehow or the other, trying to take away one's position. So one will not be able to enjoy. That is this material world, everything is poison. Mm. So that is why to hold and maintain material assets for a long time is risky because the moment material assets are there, people come to exploit. Mhm. So that and in one sense it is good to offer everything to Krishna. Krishna we offer to Krishna. At least it is gone for service. Rather than being channelized, going to rather than being taken away by cheaters or exploiters. So every preparation is material world is poison. Mhm. And see how it is explained here. Gradually, such a person he loses his intelligence, he loses his consciousness, he becomes a perpetually blind man, doesn't understand what to do or not to seek for. तर्हि स्मचित् काममधुलवान् विचिन्वान् यदपरदारः परद्रव्याणि अवरुन्धानो दातुं स्वामिभिर्वा निहता पतति अपरे निरये. The conditioned soul is sometimes attracted to the little happiness derived from sense gratification. Thus, he has illicit sex or steals another's property. At such a time, he may be arrested by the government or chastised by the woman's husband. So simply for a little material satisfaction, he falls into a hellish condition. He's put into jail for rape, kidnapping, theft, and so forth. Material life is such that due to indulgence in illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and nudity, the conditioned soul is always in a dangerous condition. Meat eating and intoxication excite the senses more and more, and the conditioned soul falls victim to woman. In order to keep woman, money is required to acquire money, but death, borrows, or steals indeed commits abominable acts that cause him to suffer, both in this life and in the next. Consequently, illicit sex must be stopped by those who are spiritually inclined or who are on the path of spiritual realization. Many devotees fall down due to illicit sex. They may steal money or even fall down from the highly honored Srinam. And for a livelihood, they accept menial services and become beggars. It is therefore said in the Shastras, "Yadvaituna Vigrihane Sukhamitucha." Materialism is based on sex, whether illicit or illicit. Sex full of dangers even for those who are addicted to also whether has a license for sex or not, there is great trouble. Prabhu Bhav. After one indulges in sex, many volumes of miseries ensue. One suffers more and more in material life. A bisexual person cannot properly utilize the wealth he has. Similarly, a materialistic person misuses the given. Instead of using it for spiritual emancipation, he uses the body for sense gratification. Therefore, he is called a miser. Look at this material madness. For a little bit of fleeting enjoyment, person puts oneself in a situation where lifelong unhappiness. How nasty is the drive for sense gratification. For a little bit paltry sense gratification, one is dunking oneself into perpetual suffering, this life and future. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining what to say of illicit sense enjoyment, even illicit sense enjoyment is very troublesome. बहुत दुख का भार तृप्यन्ति नेह विपना दुख भारा. Even illicit sense gratification has no end, has no end. One will never be satisfied. So we see the nature of Krishna consciousness is one is always satisfied. The nature of sense enjoyment is never satisfied. The spiritual energy is like that. Like Srila Prabhupada books, one purport also one reads one will feel so much strength and very satisfied. That doesn't mean one should stop there, but there is satisfaction. One goes to a book distribution, even one book is distributed, one is satisfied. It's not, uh, I'm able to be an instrument, Prabhupada's logic. Will get satisfied. Krishna consciousness is always satisfied. But there is material sense gratification never satisfied. Prabhupada is saying, sense enjoyment very troublesome. Actually, Prabhupada is explaining materialism is based on sex, that sex is illicit. So the Lord is explaining, see, uh, material life, see, material enjoyment, lifestyle is one moment only. And sometimes the mind arranges things in such a way, lust and greed and greed has increased such a level that one is ready to pay any price for that one moment of success. Sometimes, many times, the living entity pays the price of millions of lifetimes just to get that one moment of enjoyment. Millions of lifetimes of measuring the price which is paid just to get that one moment. Whereas the Lord is explaining that if one remains on the platform of Dharma, upholding the principles of Dharma, the provocations will come. When provocation comes, the Lord is saying that better tolerate for one moment and retain the glory and joy for eternity, rather than indulge in instant enjoyment for one moment and pay the price for millions of lives. What is a better proposal? And therefore, the Lord is explaining that okay, when provocations come, tolerance. That one moment of tolerance will ensure eternal bliss and communion with Supreme Lord. For sense gratification, one moment of indulgence ensures there is life after life. There is life after. So material nature price tag is very unfortunate. Sense gratification at the cost of oneself. Not just one's own life, not just one life. It scales to many lives. So how much dangerous is the drive for self gratification? Yes. That is why a sincere sadhaka always has to remain very alert and prayerful to the Supreme Lord to save us from his hankering for sense gratification. Because it is so painful and so disastrous as we can see. Volcanic outburst of miseries one will experience if one does not put a full stop to sense gratification. And Prabhupada is saying illicit or illicit does not mean they fit in the same. Yes. One person is important. Like how can we consider person not to take this? Is once now the same resource creating okay. So Prasad and understand notifications. So how to be careful in when it comes to Prasad. So we have to regulate it. We have to regulate it. So one should, so one has to regulate it. Uh, so regulation means what? Any item we like should take it limit. In limit, not break of limits. We should take the item in limits. Any item we don't like, still we should take it. Actually, this liking is a very imaginary concept. One can increase or decrease this like as possible, like that. So yeah, one can increase or decrease this like. So it is possible. Mm. I was a small child. I was not a devotee. Now, some things would appear tasty, some things would not appear tasty. I would see children would generally retaliate and demand what is tasty and reject what is not tasty. But I was a small child in primary school. I was observing, should I also behave like that? But I would see parents are very much pushing everything, whether it was tasty for me or not tasty. And I would see, and one thing clicked to me, that my mother is working very hard for me, whether it is tasty for me. So when that thing I understood, I started eating it. I remember. And when I started eating everything, everything was equally tasty. Everything was equally tasty for me. So likings can change. One figment of knowledge and understanding. Likings can change. I would like eating Loki, Tarai, Pinda, Karela, Baigan, as much as anything else. Like that. When it comes to Krishna consciousness, we have even stronger reason. Krishna is tasted it. Krishna is taken it. Who are we to say no? What are we to say? So we take prasad, not because it is tasty or not. We take prasad because Krishna is tasty. That should be the consciousness. Right? So all of us are sent to Calcutta. Many Bengali vegetables are very difficult. But with this understanding, it's all okay. We just need to install a proper understanding. So it is all okay. That way. So therefore, one should. So therefore, the principle in prasadam is, unless it comes on our plate, we should not worry about what it is. The- Many times we see devotees are peeping in the kitchen today with the like that, then our consciousness is not come. We should understand whatever Prahlad Maharaj's consciousness is what. His mother gave a poison. Prahlad Maharaj is asking, is it offered to Krishna? He said, yes. He said, okay, it is. He said, okay, it is poison, no problem. Krishna has taken it. Whom I have to refuse? Give me poison, no problem. He was ready to take poison because it was prasad poison. What is the effect of prasad poison? Prasad poison will not kill you, even if it is cyanide, chemically. Prahlad Maharaj proved it. Prahlad Maharaj proved it. He took that poison as prasad, he was not killed. He didn't die. So that is the point. That anything which Krishna has given, we take it for Krishna has given. So therefore, it is a good habit not to uh, in general, not to be very choosy about what this person menu, let us have this menu, that menu, whatever comes, whatever is offered. This is a nice side. Simple life is like that. We are not at all worried what is going to be cooked. Even if 3 times khichdi prasad without salt is eaten. No, no problem. No problem. This prasad, Krishna has taken. So it is possible to change one's likings, especially in Krishna consciousness. But I experienced changing likings even when I was a small child. Want to say adults. So if we allow ourselves to get the taste kicks, then the senses becomes addictive. But if we don't allow ourselves, it becomes okay. No problem. So it's like that. That is how. So we need to change the whole orientation and motivation. Krishna is eating banana peels with a So now Krishna is eating puffed rice of Sudama. So we have to understand the moment we remember, and that is why we are singing Mahaprasadigo. It's not mundane food. It's not, not no. It's not mundane food. So one principle is no. Uh, so like we fix and it becomes very peaceful to the mind. Like mind is very peaceful. Or menu not fixed, mind will be very agitated. Like that. Like sometimes at home they're asking, oh, what should we make today? What should we make tomorrow? I think sometimes in family this discussion is the very most prime important discussion. 1 hour they discuss what should we make tomorrow. And everybody is exercising and activating one's senses to see what should we eat tomorrow. And somebody is saying tomorrow should be Chinese. And the other person doesn't like the Chinese taste so much. He's getting another kick. He said, no, tomorrow should be paneer. Another person said, no, tomorrow should be this, tomorrow should be that. So, very miserable life. I say, the tomorrow is studying. But listen, people, they live to eat. Their only goal of life is eating. Anywhere in the world they will go, they just want to eat. Oh, I went to Italy, and what did you do? I hate that Italian. No? I hate that Thai this thing. I hate that thing. I just need to eat. This is not. So, so devotee should not do that. So, so one should follow these principles. So without hankering for it, some prasad get dropped in our plate, and that happens to be our most tasty prasad. Okay, we can take it, chanting Hare Krishna. Then we will not be affected by the taste buds like that. Otherwise, we are affected by the taste buds. Chanting Hare Krishna. Many devotees, what they do is that they don't even take Mahaprasad in a choosy way. Because they said, my dear Prabhu, whatever you want to drop. Mahaprasad, so many things. Some devotees are very picky. This person, this, that, this, that. So some temples, what they do, they mix everything. Take it. Uh, they mix everything. So sweet get mixed with Kerala and everything. Then about like that. That's very nice. That's very nice. So some devotees I've seen when they go for daily cooking, they make it a point not to eat a drop of it. No, not that one is not that one is having not that one is having one thing that okay because I have cooked the daily feast, so half of it I have to take. No, no, that's not a good consciousness. No, that's a shabby. That's a metal consciousness. So what type of consciousness do you harbor? It is possible to invoke or install the right consciousness. It is possible to invoke the right consciousness. Like one devotee was asked, "What is your favorite prasadam?" Huh? He said, "Rice dal." His favorite prasadam. Rice dal, है ना? Like that, है ना? Rice prasad, dal prasad, है ना? है ना? Huh? So, see, simple devotees, ना? Like that. This is Krishna consciousness, है ना? Not that. And everything is rice dal only, but artificially we puff up ourselves. Like people say sometimes, pizza. Na? Pizza is nothing but chapati. Pizza is nothing but chapati sabji, At night. It's nothing but chapati sabji. But those people don't know how to make chapati. For them, that is a chapati. Anything is pizza. Na? So, chapati sabji. Chapati sabji. We think, idli, uttapam. Na? But South Indians, they don't know how to make chapati. So for them, it is chapati, It is rice chapati, So, yeah, it is rice chapati, Is it, I mean, it's staple food. If you want technical term, it is called a staple food. It is staple food, And we are unnecessarily agitating our senses. Ultimately, what we are eating is rice chapati. So why not be peaceful and take it in that, no? Is it not like that? So, so this is artificial, agitation of the senses, imaginary agitation of the senses. Ultimately, every cuisine is like that. Only. Is it not? So every cuisine, sweet. What is in the sweet? Anywhere you put sugar, it becomes tasty. So, yeah, yeah. You just put water, sugar, put some powder, give some color, and say, this is, Thai cuisine, Italian, this is from Romania. People will be very enthusiastically taken it up. Just like that, no? One day you were just roasting some dhania, it got burnt and all. What to do? We put it in milk. It was tasting good. We said, okay, this is our style of herbal coffee. Very nice. Huh? It is burnt dhania, nothing else. It is not. We made our own recipe of herbal coffee. Dhania. Uh, and we were just trying it out. What to do with this burnt thing? No? So one was, it is a quite choco flavor. So everybody is very happy. No? Very nice. No? Is it not? Just burnt dhania with milk, nothing else. No? So the point is the this whole agitation is artificial. If you see. This whole agitation is artificial. Therefore, the first principle which you can follow is not anchor after a specific meaning. Mm. Even if one is staying in a household life, we have to fix the meaning. That is the meaning. Melbourne Temple is so nice. I learned such a beautiful lesson. Melbourne Temple 1000 congregation. More than 1600 congregation. Every day they make khichdi bus. No problem. Every day Khichdi Prasad in the morning. Mind is very peaceful. Krishna conscious. No? Like that, no? Very peaceful Krishna. Every day Prasad, very tasty. No? No? Because the material ingredients are the same. So everybody is able to touch the spiritual peace. Very satisfying. One devotee came, he came to Melbourne, he joined the community, he took up a cooking seva every Saturday. He thought, let us change. Let's bring about a change. Let's bring about some improvement. So every Saturday he started making Upma Prasad in Melbourne, Mahaprabhu Mandir. That was a delicacy. Everybody would think today's special breakfast. How can you miss it? What do you say? Upma Prasad. Prasad, you know? I remember one Grahastha family, they were inviting me, they said, Prabhu, please come to our home. That time I was a so-called brahmachari, you know, so-called MC brahmachari, you know. So they said, Prabhu, please come to our home for prasad, you know. And so they were inviting for 2 3 months. I said, okay, fine, you know, we can go do some kirtans, you know, and whatever they give, we will take, you know, for their pleasure, you know. Uh, So then the day was fixed. Not so Saturday, I said, okay, I have to go to university, so weekdays, I have to go. Saturday is good. Fine. So I said, okay, Saturday, you know. So I fixed Saturday, you know. And then he got a eureka remembrance. He said, hey, Prabhuji, wait. Saturday is special breakfast here, Prabhu. You know, Saturday, all of us also come from our home here, you know, like that, you know. We'll do it on another day. I said, okay, you know, whatever you like. And they were hankering for. And here, sometimes people think, "Mother और कुछ नहीं मिला क्या करें ना austerity they are hankering they are eating their fingers upma है ना like that same upma है ना the taste doesn't differ है ना same taste so it's artificial installation na nothing else I remember 2010 2011 you know, I used to make upma in the Sankalpa camp yeah and 10 people had come for Utkarsha you know eating the upma no eating the upma आपने खाया था उपमा काफी टाइम से बना because I used to make upma no idli upma good na like that so the point is this prasad it is possible to install a spiritual system like that. And if you see agitation is very artificial nothing else and I was wondering these devotees are so ecstatic eating upma prasad they are feeling as if it is a festival and they're so happy and blissful eating upma thousand community I'm not talking about one or two devotees so whatever we tag whichever way we tag is what it becomes like if you think this is upma prasad so wonderful it will be so wonderful it is so wonderful Mahaprabhu inspired Lord Nityananda inspired Raghunath Das Goswami to celebrate Cheda Dahi festival what is there in Cheda Dahi it is one of the most common staple food one of the most common poor man's staple food Cheda Dahi means the least tasty means this is a very common staple food. And if that we just said, okay, just switch it up. He didn't say paneer. He didn't say lasagna. Raghunath Das Goswami could have done it. He could have imported the chefs from no, Thailand, Italy or whatever. He could have done that. He was a multi-billionaire. He could have done that. So Mom said, no, just take some chip rice, put some dahi, some camphor, some milk, some and do this. And all devotees are so ecstatic. तो पनीर पकौड़ा बनाया गया तो so ecstatic किसे खाते हैं. So that is not material ecstasy. You see. Material, I don't think it was much punch. You know? Materially, I don't think it was much punch. You know? Because I see sometimes new people on Chida, they are wondering, "ये क्या है?" You know? They are taking and still, okay, not much punch. But if you see Raghunath Das Goswami, if you remember Raghunath Das Goswami, one Master one material great ecstasy, So spiritual consciousness has to be installed. We agitate ourselves in imagination actually. What is tasty, what is not tasty? Simply imagine. What gives a kick to senses not necessarily tasty. Yes. And the same is with the inside so uh, how to maintain the vows. You take inspiration from those who maintain, you connect with those who maintain, and that is a great fortune, staying in the association of the Buddhists. That we may not have individually the strength, but simply by taking inspiration and connecting with those who are able to uphold the principle by their mercy, we can also. That's Mahaprabhu's, that is why Mahaprabhu's greatest gift is the association of the Vaishnavas. अतः च तस्मात् उभयताभिः कर्मस्मिन् आत्मनः संसारवापनम् उदाहरन्ति. Learned scholars and transcendentalists therefore condemn the materialistic path of fruitive activity because it is the original source and breeding ground of material miseries, both in this life and in the next. But not knowing the value of life may create situations whereby they suffer in this life and the next. Unfortunately, countries are very attached to material sense gratification, and they cannot appreciate the miserable condition of material neither in this life nor in the next. Therefore, the Vedas enjoin that one should awaken to spiritual consciousness and utilize all his activities, attaining the favor of the Supreme Personality. The Lord Himself says in Bhagavad Gita 9:27, Yat karosi yadasnasi yat chukosi tadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurusva nadarpana. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, All that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. The results of all one's activities should be utilized not for sense gratification, but for the mission of the Supreme Personality of God. The Supreme Lord gives all information in Bhagavad Gita about the aim of life, and at the end of Bhagavad Gita, he demands surrender. People do not generally like this demand, but one who cultivates spiritual knowledge for many births eventually surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Bahunam janmanamante jnanama mam prapadyate. Fruitive activities is the breeding ground for material physics. That is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam and the Acharyas. But Srila Prabhupada is explaining that a person addicted to sense enjoyment cannot see it. Thus, such a person becomes blind and dumb and deaf and numb. So one is not able to realize the inherent miseries associated with sense gratification. A person may undergo major depression, but still one will continue the same life. Person may get suicidal thoughts, still one will continue the same life. Person may get treated, still one will continue the same life. What has happened? One has become blind and deaf and numb. Sense gratification does. Therefore, the turning point can only come when one tries out Krishna consciousness. So therefore, unless we try out standing by the spiritual principle, we will never be able to realize or come out of that box of deafness, blindness, numbness. So that is why the spiritual principles, even if you don't understand, it is better to apply and see how it goes. Because the moment one applies, one will come out of this deafness, blindness, numbness, and one can see, yes, Krishna consciousness is so powerful. I was sleeping, I was intoxicated. Every figment of spiritual principles is right. So therefore, in Bhakti, every principle, the more resistance one puts in trying out a principle, the less is a transformation one experiences. Because the deafness, blindness, numbness doesn't go away on its own. It only goes away when one adds Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada is quoting, the Lord is appealing, therefore, then better act for Krishna in everything. Yat karoshi yajasnasi, yat jivosi tadasi. Better act for Krishna in everything. In whatever one eats, whatever one does, whatever one thinks, and so on. That's the point. Just read further. Text 24. मुक्ता सतो यदि बन्धात् देवदत्ता उपचिन्नाति कस्मादपि विष्णुमित्र इति अनवस्थितिः. Stealing or cheating another person out of his money. The conditioned soul somehow or the other keeps it in his possession and escapes punishment. Then another man named Devadatta cheats him and takes the money away. Similarly, another man named Vishnumitra cheats money from Devadatta and takes it away. In any case, the money does not stay in one place. It passes from one hand to another. Ultimately, no one can enjoy the money, and it remains the property of the Supreme Personality of God. You know, this is Krishna's quantum cryptography. Even if you attempt to decode and extract enjoyment, you cannot. And, so therefore, and the Lord is saying it right up, you know, that you just cannot decode enjoyment. Uh, so that's also beautiful. No? Money, no problem. Whosoever grabs onto it, nobody can enjoy it. That is guaranteed. Krishna's quantum cryptography, super well, infallible algorithm of the Supreme. Riches come from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and the goddess of fortune is a property of Narayan, the supreme personality of God. The goddess of fortune cannot stay anywhere but by the side of Narayan. Therefore, another name of her is Sanchana. She cannot be peaceful unless she is in the company of her husband Narayan. For example, Lakshmi was carried away by the materialistic Ravana. Ravana kidnapped Sita, the goddess of fortune, belonging to Lord Rama. As a result, Ravana's entire family, opulence, kingdom were smashed. And Sita, the goddess of fortune, was recovered from his clutches and reunited with Lord. As all property, riches, wealth belong to Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 5:29. Bhoktara Venkataprasad Sarvaloka Maheshwar. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a true beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, and He is the supreme proprietor of all the planetary system. Foolish materialistic people collect money and steal from other thieves, but they cannot keep it. In any case, it must be spent. One person cheats another, another person cheats someone else, and therefore the best way to possess Lakshmi is to keep her by the side of Narayan. This is the point of the Krishna consciousness movement. We worship Lakshmi Radharani along with Narayan and Krishna. We collect money from various sources, but that money does not belong to anyone but Radha and Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan. If money is utilized in the service of Lakshmi Narayan, the devotee automatically lives in an opulent way. However, if one wants to enjoy Lakshmi the way Ravana did, he will be vanquished by the laws of nature, and whatever few possessions he has will be taken away. Finally, death will take everything away, and death is a representative of Krishna. Mrityu sarvaharascha, like our the Lord says. So here Maharaj Janamath explains how money is chanchala and it will never sustain. One can exploit and cheat, but how long? It won't last. And that money which one has taken will go away. So here the principle of the Ishopanishad, no one can get more money than one deserves by his karma. That karma allows the limit. If one happens to earn more than that, it will be drained out. How? In the form of war, famine, court cases, law, health issues, accidents, and so on. So it will be just drained out. Ultimately, that much only can remain. Which karma limits allow. But if one offers that money to Krishna, that money always remains in the Lord's feet of the Lord and it glorifies the Supreme Lord. No? And a devotee can access that, a devotee will be very nourished. So if we make a palace for Radha and Krishna, and because the servant of Radha and Krishna, we also stay in the palace. But no, if one makes a palace for oneself, uh, one will not be able to enjoy it. One will not be able to enjoy it. Ultimately, Mrityu Sarva Parascha. Everything one has to leave behind. Everything one has to leave. In New Oliver itself, we find so many homes. Nobody's staying. Other homes only old parents are staying, one, two, like that. Many places nobody's staying. When that was built, it was not built for that motivation. It was built as home, sweet home, palace, and so on and so on. But now nobody's staying. Where are the people? They're gone. Is it not? They're gone. So, Mrityu Sarvahamsya. Mhm. So we have to understand this person. So Lord Krishna explains anything not offered to Krishna is sin, and sin is going to create destruction. So people think I have amassed this much wealth, this much name, this much fame, everything will go into destruction because it is not offered. Ityashu shasana santo muchanti sarva kilvishi bhujante te agam papam ye bhajanti atma karanat papam. Only papam. The person is only eating sin. But when it is offered to Krishna, prasade sarva dukkhana aniyasya. Prasanna chetasa hi aso buddhi pradotishti. So prasad, when it is prasad, it takes away all miseries. Prasade, Prasanna hi chetasa hi aso. One becomes very enlightened. Buddhi parivartishti, intelligence knowledge. But the same thing, if it is not offered to Krishna, muchyante salvakilviche, bhujante tyagam. So it causes destruction. So that's why uh, you have to offer everything to Krishna. Whatever Krishna gives back as prasad, one will be completely satisfied. So that is the principle. So let's stop here for today. Continue further in our next class. Santa Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada. Hare Bol.